Hey, I just wanted you to know that I know what it's like to feel like you're not good enough. To feel like you're not worthy or you're not deserving of an amazing life. I know what it's like to feel like you don't have what it takes. Like there's something missing. Like you're missing something that's important. And I genuinely think that to a great deal and to a great extent, we all know what that feels like at times in our lives. But underneath all of that, there is a value to you. There's a specialness to you that can only be you. And I just think that if you knew that, and if you really understood and realized how special you are, and how grateful the entire universe is for your existence and you to be here right now, the way that you are, you don't need to change, that there's nothing wrong with you at all. You don't need to work your whole life to go achieve more money or success or anything to validate yourself. That genuinely, if you really understood who you are and how amazing and magnificent you are, then you'd know that you are enough. And that this inherent quality and value that you have can't be taken away from you. And it doesn't have to be earned either. It's just who you are. Now, I know that this is a little bit weird, and that for a lot of you seeing this video, I'm just some random guy that's popped up on your feed talking to you like I'm, your girlfriend and you're going through a breakup or something. But, there's something here in this moment that we're sharing together. And I think that you feel it. I think that you recognize it. I think that's why you haven't quit out of this video. And I think that it's because right now, you are here. Who you really are. Right now in this moment, I think you feel yourself. I think that what I'm saying makes sense to you on a core level of who you are, that you might not always be in touch with, but that you at least are recognizing that you are special. You know you are. Come on. I know tough things happen. I know. I'm here too, living a human life. Trust me, I know. Tough things happen. They do. But you know you're special. You've always known since you were a kid. It's not just some fantasy daydream of you dreaming and pretending that you're going to have superpowers one day. You really do have superpower right now. But that superpower can only be accessed if you know who you are and if you're willing to really be yourself authentically. Now, you might say, well, I'm already being myself and I'm unhappy and people aren't good to me and I struggle in my life and I don't feel like I'm good enough and I've had my heart broken too many times. Listen, I hear you. I know. But I see you right now. And I'm talking directly to you. And I just want you to know that I care about you. And I love you. Even though to you we may have never met before, I know how incredible you are. I feel you. And you have to understand that for a lot of your life, you thought you were being yourself, but you really weren't. Don't freak out. It's actually really simple. I had to figure this out for myself too, through a lot of trial and error, okay? And I hope that what I'm about to reflect to you makes it so you don't have to go through as much trial and error as me. That you'll feel the truth of it for yourself and you'll know it. So much of who we are in today's day and age, so much of how we behave in life and how we act, Don't you see that a lot of it is kind of based on you modeling certain behavior of your parents, of your siblings, things that were taught to you in the school system, advertisements, genuinely just kind of matching what the collective society around you behaves like? Have you ever noticed that? It's actually pretty interesting because they've done studies where they go to different countries, and if you've ever been to a different country, you'll see that the culture is like entirely different. The vibe that people emanate, the mannerisms, the way they sit and act. See, part of the truth is that we kind of start modeling what other people are telling us and how other people act. It's a natural quality. It's not because you're stupid. It's not because there's anything wrong with you. It's natural. It's a survival mechanism that's been put into our animal meat suit to help us to survive. Think about it. Back in the day, if you were extremely different from the pack, you'd probably be pushed out. But we're not in survival times anymore. We're in a very special era. It's a time of awakening. It's the Great Awakening. It's a massive shift and unlocking of higher levels of consciousness. And I know that you're here and you're part of it. As weird as me saying that might sound to you, if you've never heard of that stuff before, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you know the truth, that you're special. All right? You've always known it, no matter what's happened. At the core, the majority of you has maintained that knowing. So understand that there's a you that has nothing to do with what you've been taught. It has nothing to do with survivability. It has nothing to do with your behavior or learning that when you act this way, it gets good results socially, and when you act this way, it gets bad results. It's a you that is entirely free of all of that programming. And that this is the you that if you actually be them, you will activate your superpower. So how do we do that, and what's the superpower? Well, the superpower is a little bit challenging to explain, being that I know I'm speaking to some people right now that may have never heard of this stuff before. But the superpower, you got to understand that reality is very malleable. It is not what we've been taught it is in school. There is much more going on here. And as our science advances and all their tools become even more incredible and they can dive deeper into different sciences, all we're really learning is that we didn't know as much as we thought we knew. What you need to understand is that you're powerful, you're a creator, and that reality is so malleable, it's just like a dream. And just like a dream that we have been asleep in, notice how in your dreams when you go to sleep at night, the dream just kind of unconsciously plays out. Maybe there's something happening in the dream and it just happens, right? But what turns a dream lucid? If you've ever heard of lucid dreaming, what happens is that the person in the dream, something usually weird happens in the dream, and they consciously realize that they're asleep. And then they wake up in the dream. And now you're in absolute control. Everything is extremely malleable. You can fly around, you can lift buildings, whatever you want. You know, life's not too different from that. There are specific rules that you and I both agreed to before we incarnated here that we're not meant to change because it's what allows the human experience to happen. But to a great extent, you have the ability to shift in your reality and influence reality in ways that you may have always felt helpless to. Now, this power, many people learn about it. Many people in this community know about this power and manifestation and about the awakening. But we're all kind of in our own time coming to the realization that the way that we actually align with that power and harness it in our lives is by being our true selves. Okay, so how do we be our true selves? Because now we know, we've tried enough times different manifestation techniques to see that it doesn't always work. Is the information wrong? It's not that the information's wrong, it's just that you're not fully in alignment with who you are. And that's when really the universe comes down and throws itself on your team like you wouldn't believe. When you're being authentic, when you're speaking with your true voice, meaning you're not emulating other stuff. All right, an example of this, I noticed that since I've been making videos like this, suddenly a lot of other videos like this are popping up on YouTube doing the same thumbnail styles and the same titles. That doesn't actually make me mad. It's kind of exciting to see that this movement is like rippling out. But I want to make clear that the key to success isn't to emulate me or emulate anybody else or copy what they're doing. It's to be who you really are. It's to tune in to the true voice within you. That's what makes it special. That's what makes it powerful. So many people are looking for themselves, and if you could speak with the voice that is truly yours, if you could look from the eyes that really are you, if you could think from that place, if you could live from that place, you would experience a power and freedom that many people won't experience for multiple trial and errors of lifetime after lifetime. And that's okay too, because you have all the time in the universe. You got eternity to mess around with it. I mean, really. So there really is this incredibleness at your fingertips. There's an incredibleness within you. So how do you actually tune into that? That part can be a little bit tricky, to be honest, because you kind of have to trust the divine timing of your path and the way that it happens. Things happen at different times for each of us. You know, you kind of got to trust your path and the challenges that come to you. You got to really, really feel that those challenges are meant to help you learn more about yourself. So we get to a place where we don't get upset when things don't go our way anymore. We know at the core that it's happening for us to discover more of who we are. And that in itself is a power that will transform your life. To instead of looking at life as things are happening to you, to see that they're actually happening for you, that's a pretty big shift in of itself. So to really know who you are, there's some things that I've personally learned and some basic practices that honestly yielded me a lot of incredible results. And I'm going to be talking about those things more on this channel. So make sure to stay tuned, of course, if you resonate with this conversation. And I also do live events where I teach this to a group of 50 people. It's like a live seminar online. You can learn about that if you want to work with me. You can check that out in the description of this video. But I don't want to hold anything back or tell you that you have to come to any of the stuff or take any of the classes I've made to figure it out. Because I want to really be honest with you and compassionate and tell you that what you really got to do is trust your path. What you really got to do is be here now and realize that things are happening for you to discover who you are. And then you've got to have the courage to, when you learn new things about yourself, be it. You've got to really be it unconditionally, fearlessly. You know, I had to learn early on as I started to be myself more and more, it would make certain people in my life uncomfortable. I would get a lot of judgment and things like this. But that's really just you testing yourself, because you are those people judging you. You are the entire reality itself. You are me speaking to yourself right now. None of it's separate. So don't judge yourself. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge others. Just be. Be who you are right now in this moment. And if who you are is someone who doesn't know who you are, be that part of you vibrantly. Be someone who doesn't know who they are right now, right? If you're someone going through a challenge, be someone going through a challenge. Most of our problems come from this in life. If we're going through a challenge, we try so hard to be someone that's not going through a challenge. That's called resistance. That's called denying the present moment. It's called shoving your head up your butt, to put it plainly. We got to be here now. We have to be. I know that you're special. I know it. And I know what it feels like to feel like you're not good enough. But I promise you that who you really are is. So you might not feel good enough right now. But it's just because you're in a transformation of learning about more of who you are and getting on that team. I realized recently in my life that I am a powerful force of love, fearless, to give it all over the place, 24/7. That's me. I can't tell you who you are because that's your business. That's your life path, to be here and discover who you are. I can't wait to see what you discover. I genuinely can't. So thanks so much for being here. And the times where you start to care about yourself less, where you start to judge yourself or feel hard on yourself, Those are the most important times to take a deep breath and relax and realize that it's just life. You don't got to take it so seriously, you know? It's okay to be where you are. It's okay to be going through what you're going through. Most people don't know this. A lot of you do. But I literally was without a home, living in a car, a Ford Fiesta, a very small car, eating only canned food, a can of beans and a can of vegetables. For nearly 2 years, that was the way I lived my life. So what I'm trying to reflect in that is that challenges and the situations that are presented to us in our lives, maybe you aren't what happens in life. Maybe you can stop identifying with certain circumstances and challenges. Maybe stop saying, I am this failure, and realize that you aren't the things that happen to you. You are how you respond to those things, though. That's how you create yourself in this reality. So no matter what's going on in your life, how about you choose to respond to it in an empowering way? Why not? Why not? Just wanted to show you beautiful sunset happening. Just for some context, this is called the Gateway Trail, and it's in Mount Shasta. I actually live here, and feeling so blessed to be here. And the fact of the matter is, guys, is that I've been on a constantly winding and changing path. And I know you have been too. Keep going, you know, keep going. A lot of people sit down and they scream and they throw a fit and they kick and they cry and they whine and they say, oh, woe is me. That response is not going to get you good results. It's not going to help you to realize who you are. Because all that is resisting the truth. All that is resisting what's happening in your life. So don't kick and scream. Don't cry about whatever it is that's happening. Embrace it. Embrace it openly and fully. And honestly, know that all you're experiencing right now is a gift. The gift of being able to discover more of who you are. And once you really see the big picture of it, you've got a power that is so great. And even better than having that power is the way you use it. Thanks. Much love. And I'll see you for the next video. And don't forget to check out the live event below. Seriously, it's an awesome event. I'd love to see you there. Much love to you. All right. Peace.